Bookshelf reorganizations never go as planned, and this video is no different. I wish it was. I always think it will be. It's not. Starting with the fact that the first hour-long clip that I had filmed is nowhere to be found. I know I filmed it because I saw it at one point. I don't know what happened to it. This clip is chaotic. The one that was lost is probably the most chaotic clip of the whole video because I had started reorganizing my bookshelves 2 hours or an hour and a half before I had friends coming over to the house, and I frantically get more panicky as I realize my entire library is in disarray with 5 people coming over to my house who will definitely want to see my library. So what ended up happening in the first clip, I took off all my romance books that used to be on top of this shelf, threw them on the floor, reorganized them, set them all up on its own shelf over in the corner, which I'll show later. Then everything else over here was just chaos. I was just throwing books onto the shelves just to get them on there, so at least they wouldn't be on the floor in disarray. Hey, baby. So after that original clip, a few days had passed, and then I got to finally taking more books off my shelves and adding them how I actually wanted them to be. I had a vision that I was trying to follow. It just always takes longer than you think to reorganize your bookshelves, and I learned that the hard way every single time, no matter how many times I do it. So pretend that first clip is in here. It's late at night when I'm doing it, and I'm just frantically throwing books on the shelves. Okay, that's all you missed. Let's just jump right into the video. I'm really excited. I'm sitting in front of organized shelves now. I'll do a bookshelf reorganization. I have a bunch of books I'm going to be unhauling that I took off the shelves. And then of course I'll have a bookshelf tour at the very end. So that's what you're in for. Stick around, it's going to be a good time. Let's jump over to past Kenzi, who is anticipating a long night of bookshelf reorganization. I'm back. It's been a couple days. We're back to try and fix the chaos that I left my bookshelves in. Cheers. I feel like we're gonna need it. Putting it in a wine glass for romanticization. That'll do it. We have some things to do. It's Friday night at 6:55. Last time, I don't even remember what I talked about. I don't remember anything. Actually, I think I blacked out. I was trying to organize it before my friends came over in a 2-hour span. And tonight I have hours. So we're gonna make it more of a fun, romantic, idyllic experience. We're gonna organize and we're gonna be thorough and not chaotic. Last time, I did my romance shelf. I think there's some things I want to adjust about that to make it a little more organized and consistent. It's packed. We don't have a lot of space over there. It's possible I get rid of some more books that I don't think I'll read. We'll see. We organized most of the top of this shelf, which is literary fiction. I think that there's some tweaking we can do to make it a little better. On my top shelves with the pages facing out, I have some authors that have been banished. We'll see how long I keep those there. I actually like how they look. I think it looks cute. I think today we're going to fine-tune a little bit more, organize the fantasy a bit better, because right now, again, it's feeling chaotic. That's kind of the plan. I also have some books just kind of scattered. My book cart that I have like all my filming stuff on. I have some bookmarks on there. I keep my TBR and like books I currently read on that shelf as well. I just think that is in need of a refresh. So I think that's also on my radar for tonight. I'm just gonna get organizing. I'm currently listening to Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine. I'm currently reading this for a video where I read my favorite book creators' favorite books. I'm 20% through at the end of chapter 7. Hopefully I can lock in and not get too distracted. I feel like audiobooks usually help me lock in, so. The group chat is going crazy. Let's get into it. First and foremost, let's put these away. We have my TBR and what I read last month. Off the top of the shelf next. Put seasonal books up there. Hopefully that frees up some space on the actual shelves because it's tight. You also could do up top, I'm second guessing myself. I think I should put my nonfiction up top. Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna put memoirs, self-help, nonfiction up top. Because I think that's gonna be the most space efficient decision. I think I like that. I think it was a good decision to go nonfiction up there. I have that stack and it's basically all memoirs. Yeah, I like this. I like where this is going. Hours have passed. It's currently 10:23 p.m. I am finally on the home stretch. I think I just reached the halfway point of Eleanor Oliphant is completely fine. I'm just reorganizing some of my romance shelves to make more room. I went back and I added a bunch of like horizontal, you can't see that, but like horizontal stacks of books to try and make more space because I got everything on and it didn't fit. I also have a stack of books I'm giving away or donating. So that's the current situation. Let's just continue with this. I'm gonna try and be done very soon before 11 because I need to sleep and I have an early morning, so. I think I got it. I always start this like so overly ambitious and so optimistic, and I finish this exhausted with hours passing in the blink of an eye. And so that's about where I'm at currently. Literally thought I was going to be able to clean out my bar cart. No. That's not happening. I feel good about where we're at right now. I think we're good. I just need to clean up this room, which is somehow worse. So, I have a big stack of unhauled books of like 30. I'm gonna go organize that stack. I think the tour is gonna be like tomorrow or at a later date when I can clean out the bar cart. When I can clean out the book cart. Get excited! Because I know I am. To be done. I think I'm just gonna try and do the book cart. I'm here. I'm going. It'll take me it'll take me a minimal amount of time for a high reward. So we're just gonna do it. My babies. I miss them. These pictures are my most prized possession. Reading cart has reached a very temporary level of cleanliness. It looks empty. I will be adding books to it as I read them this month. I just didn't want to keep my TBR out so I could like accurately add the books to the shelves. But these are just going downstairs. Let's call it a night. What do you say we call it a night? What do you say we call it a night? I need to be horizontal. I need to get horizontal. So we're gonna make that happen. I'll give you a full tour at a later date, but I'm really happy with how it turned out. Just know I'm really excited about it. Looks so nice and actually like welcoming. That's a win for sure. I'll probably be making tweaks the next few days. You know when you like reorganize and then once a couple days have passed, your brain is able to marinate on the changes a little more and make some tweaks to make it even better. Hopefully that happens to me and they're not big tweaks. I feel a little delirious, so I'm just gonna go now. I think I'm gonna go get in the bath. My bookshelves are finally organized. I cannot wait to show you how they turned out. We don't have a lot of space to grow at this current moment, but I'm really happy with how they turned out. So let me give you a little tour. And I bought 2 more books today, and I genuinely don't know how I'm gonna fit them on my shelves. That's a future me problem. The shelves are in perfect shape now. So like I kind of mentioned, up here we have a bunch of banished authors that I do not want to support or promote, but they look really nice facing backwards out here when you can't see what the title is. It looks not bad. They're serving a purpose. For once. I kind of have the shelves organized this way, so like the genres will kind of bleed out this way. It doesn't end here, you know what I mean? So it kind of goes like this. Up here we have Ellen Hildebrandt altogether, because from what I understand those are mostly literary fiction. I've only read like 1 or 2 Ellen Hildebrandt books, and they were more lit fic vibe. And then it goes into Haruki Murakami. This top shelf I really tried to group authors that I have already together, so then I know where they are and they can all be in one place. So a lot of this top shelf is authors that I own multiple books by them. We have this James by Percival Everett. This is one of my favorite books. Please go read it if you haven't already. I will get more Percival Everett books after how good this one is, so I'm like anticipating that and putting it up here. And then we go into Zadie Smith, Maggie O'Farrell, Lily King, Kylie Reid. We have some Frederick Bachman, and this place has a little extra space because again, I am going to be finishing the Beartown trilogy. We're reading Us Against You right now. I just don't have it yet. So I'm leaving space for when I inevitably get the rest of that series to add it right there by Beartown. We also have Frederick Bachman's newest release. And then we go into Celeste Ng, Sally Rooney, Coco Malors, and then Gabrielle Zevin. Okay, so that's the top shelf. Let's go into the second shelf. This little compartment is kind of like feel-good, somewhat girly fiction, The Wedding People, Lessons in Chemistry, Remarkably Bright Creatures. We have Shop Girls and Mary Jane by Jessica Anya Blau. A repeat author, I just didn't have any space on top. And then some other one-offs. I just finished filming a video with this book. Eleanor Oliphant is completely fine. So this is a lot of one-off authors. This is where we have a lot of repeat authors. Richard Powers goes to here. We have Jacqueline Woodson, but where did my other Jacqueline Woodson book go? Oh, down here. Somehow this book got isolated up here. The rest of the Jacqueline Woodson's down here. I'll have to fix that later. But then we go into all my Kristen Hanna, and then all my Jodi Picoult. That's like basically the majority of the shelf. Heading down a little bit more, this is some more like literary fiction, historical fiction primarily. I tried to put all my hardcovers here and then go into paperbacks. This is more like heavy fiction, historical fiction, sad fiction, primarily historical, and then we go into more contemporary fiction as we go more right, like set in the modern day. Right here we have a lot of World War II, and then over here we have some more like current ones, like They're There. I love this book. I've recently finished it and I haven't stopped thinking about it. This ties in some historical themes, how it impacts our contemporary society as we know it. We've got some existential type fiction. So that's kind of the vibe. So right here we have a bunch of YA. A lot of these books in this section are banned books. We have some repeat authors here. And then as we go over, this YA turns into like YA thriller and then YA horror. And then that YA horror transitions into adult thriller. If you follow my vision as we like up the scale as we go this way. And then down here is where we get to have some more horror thriller. In this little section, it's primarily thrillers. Some adult thrillers, we have BookTok-y type thrillers, things like that. Stephen King takes up a lot of this shelf. He has been acting up. We have his like thrillers, some more contemporary stuff, going into more of the classics. I fear this book changed me. I fear I loved it. It's hard to admit, but this is one of my favorite thriller horrors ever. Try and thrift it. I thrifted this. After Stephen King, we have some more thrillers, and then those thrillers turn into like fantasy horror right here. Because over here behind me are my fantasy shelves, so I feel like kind of fantasy horror. Dark fantasy belonged kind of by the thriller horror. I have so much fantasy, it's like overflowing. That's how we kind of blended them together to try and make it make sense. Let me move you down. You're looking at me from way above. Let's fix that. Hi, you may not be able to see me. So here we have some more thrillers, and then it gets into the more horror genre. The Troop, Tender as the Flesh, body horror, classic horror, quirky horror, thriller horror, horror. And then, like I said, this thriller horror kind of starts blending into like dark fantasy, vampire fantasy, fantasy horror, things like that. And then down here we start going into like Greek mythology. Not horror, but it's not fantasy and it's not literary fiction. It's like its own thing. You know what I mean? So it's down here with the like magical realism horror vibe. Okay? This made sense to me mentally. So we have like The Wolf Den. This is not a fantasy book. This is a fiction book about ancient Greece. This takes place in Pompeii, pre-volcano, at a brothel. This is a tough read, but it's historical fiction and it's so heavily Greek that I feel like it belonged by my Greek mythology. So that's why that's down here. I hope you're following. I hope it makes sense. We have Susanna Clarke down here. This is like Greek adjacent, heavily inspired by Greek myth. So it goes down here, and so then because that's down here, this is down here. Will I ever read this book? Time will tell. And then of course we go into Ariadne, my babies. These were on display in my living room, but I just want them with my other books. If you don't already know, this tattoo right here says, "As the poets say," which is from the Song of Achilles. The quote, "He is half of my soul," as the poets say. This is also so good to me. So good. And then we go into some like speculative light fantasy. So this book is like criminally underrated, Light from Uncommon Stars. It's very speculative fiction, like sci-fi adjacent. It's really good. Wicked, some classics like The Wizard of Oz. This is an ARC I got. I don't know anything about it. It's like actually a bound manuscript. Don't know what it's about. There was room here. So over here is the lit fic vibe. We're getting into fantasy. So right here we have like dystopian and sci-fi vibe. Of course we have The Hunger Games, we have Octavia E. Butler, we have sci-fi. I actually started this at one point. Got to chapter 4. Yeah, I don't know why I stopped reading that. On the bottom shelf we have like cozy fantasy, Assistant to the Villain. Didn't really like this book. You know, that's the vibe we're going with. We have some like fantasy adjacent. Alright, let's get up off the floor. V.E. Schwab's Little Shrine. Two of my most prized possessions. We have Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil ARC, somehow. Annotated this baby like crazy. Love her. She will never leave my possession. And then we have a signed first edition when I saw V.E. Schwab. This is my first signed V.E. Schwab book. And we have the tour exclusive stamp on it, so you only got the stamp if you saw her when she was on tour. And then we have me and McCoy's personal library stamp on there. This is also one of my prized possessions. I'm getting goosebumps even talking about it. Love this book so much. One of my favorite books of the year. You have to go read it. And I won't shut up about it, but our girl Addie LaRue, obsessed with this book. Also, 5-star read. She makes a cameo in Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil. So if that doesn't convince you to read it, I don't know what will. Then we have Gallant. This is a YA haunted house vibe. I actually liked this. This was fun. I had a good time. And then in this little pile, I'm not gonna get it out because it'll topple, but we have my special edition of The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. This is actually really gorgeous. It has like flowers and like a bookmark insert and like floral pages. Then we go into Vicious and Vengeful, and then the Darker Shade of Magic series, and then the Fragile Threads of Power. Here we have a bunch of short stories, novellas, speculative fiction. Loved this book. This is like kind of thriller horror, speculative fiction mashup. Genre bending. Loved it. This is also where we have Otessa Moshfegh, I Who Have Never Known Men. This is one of those books that I liked when I read it. I read it in a day, but the more I think about it, the more impactful it is. Over here we have some short horror stories, and we have like some sci-fi, speculative fiction with like Emily St. John Mandel. I liked both of those. Those were both good. Working our way up, we have some classics, we have some dark academia, literary fiction, you know what I mean. We have Margaret Atwood, we have Barbara Kingsolver, we of course have The Goldfinch by Donna Tartt. I need to get a copy of The Secret History. I had that book, my dog chewed it up. So. It's been a couple days, and that's because my camera died, and then I got into my book, and then I went to sleep, and then days passed, but we're back. So, where were we? I don't remember, if we're being honest with each other, but we're just gonna pick up where I think we left off. As we move up, we get into more lit fic, classics, you know, to kind of blend over here with these shelves. Like we had some like, literary fiction over here, then it kind of blends into classics, and then some like contemporary classics, you know what I mean? So we have like A Little Life. I have some complicated feelings about A Little Life personally. Barbara Kingsolver, of course, etc., etc. Up here we have classics. So I had all of these. Can you see this very well? Let me move you. Getting into my top shelves, we have these really special edition classics all right here. I had these in like a different area of my house, but I wanted them on my shelf. This is one of my personal faves because this is one of my favorite classics of all time. If not my favorite, it's one of my favorite classics of all time. And I really love this pink edition. It's just the Barnes & Noble Classic edition. I got it years ago. Really good. This is the actual copy I read of Emma. I got it at a thrift store. Beat up pocket edition. I annotated it a little bit. And after I read it, I knew I needed the special edition, so that's why we have 2 copies. We have some more Jane Austen, Frankenstein, Little Women, Pride and Prejudice, Picture of Dorian Gray, The Great Gatsby, all the things. I really want to build out my classics a little bit more. And then we have some pocket editions, kind of stacked up. I put Recitative with the classics because it is one. I loved this story. Less than 50 pages or something. And Toni Morrison is just a genius, so I really liked this book. Oh my god. Another one of my personal favorites is this copy of Rebecca. This book is another one of my all-time favorite classics. I read this on my Kindle, but I got this copy because I really love the cover. And then we have some Toni Morrison, A Tree Grows in Brooklyn, another all-time fave, The Color Purple, which is phenomenal as well. So this is like my little classics corner, and I just made that up, but it fits. Alliteration, love that. And this is where we kind of blend into fantasy. So on the top we have literary fiction, bottom we have fantasy, we have speculative fiction in the middle. You following my thought process here? I hope it's translating. On this very top shelf, like on top of the bookshelf itself, we have some nonfiction, some memoirs. Can you see? Way up here, we have some nonfiction and memoirs. Some of my favorite memoirs, if you're curious. I'm Glad My Mom Died, all-time fave. Crying in H Mart, all-time fave. And then The Argonauts, on the very top, by Maggie Nelson. Phenomenal book as well. Then we have some like self-help, some books my therapist has recommended me. And then in stark contrast to that, we have the fantasy. This is primarily a Brandon Sanderson shrine, a Brandon Sanderson shelf. So this is like all the Cosmere, Mistborn, Way of Kings, etc., etc. The second shelf, we have some of my favorite fantasy of all time. Okay, I haven't read any Patrick Rothfuss. I have never read The Name of the Wind. I'm scared of it. I hear it's one of the best books ever, but the fact that he's never gonna finish it, I don't know if I can live with that. I don't know if I can live with that. But we also have The Will of the Many, all-time favorite right here. I love this cover way better. If you've seen the new covers, you'll know what I'm talking about. This is way better. It's way cooler, and the second book's only gonna be in the new cover, so I'm like, do I need to get the first book in the new cover so I can get the second book in the new cover and they'll match? No, is the answer to that question, but do I want to? Yes. Again, we have banger after banger. This is like all my heavy hitters, all my favorite fantasy books except for Patrick over here. Blood Over Brighthaven. If someone came up to me on the street and they were like, what's your favorite book of all time? This is probably what I would answer. It's probably the strongest fantasy standalone I've ever read in my life. It's so good. It resonates with me on a very personal level. I feel like this book saw straight into my soul. If you want to get to know me a little better, read this book. It's such a phenomenal one, and I definitely need to read more Emma Wong. I haven't read The Sword of Kaigen yet, and I hear such amazing things about it, so she will have a spot on my shelf. And then of course we have Legendborn. I have 2 copies of Legendborn because I had to get the hardcover as well. Legendborn, Bloodmarked, Oathbound. Oathbound came out this year and I have yet to read it. I think I'm just like highly intimidated because I love the first 2 books so much. And there was some time that passed since I read those. So I'm like, will I need to reread? Do I need to refresh on the story? Yes, I need to refresh on the story. But I think it's my time to just jump into Oathbound and stop being scared. R.F. Kuang. Obsessed. I just don't recommend this one as much because it's like very dense, so if it was some random person, I probably wouldn't recommend this book because it's not really like a light, easy read. None of my favorite books are like light, easy reads. They usually involve lots of tears and emotional devastation. This is no different, and I love this one too. Of course we have Yellowface, The Poppy War. Where's my Catabasis book? Oh, McCoy is reading Catabasis. That's an ARC and signed. So one of my most prized possessions in my library, but he is reading that right now. Then we have Olivia Blake, Probably my two biggest disappointments on my entire bookshelf. I have a tattoo for this book. It's a bee. Basic, but love. This book is Olivia Blake's YA name. That's her real name, actually. Alexine Farrell-Fulmouth, that's her name. The more you know. Moving down a little bit, we have a big stack of YA fantasy. We have Chloe Gong. I liked these books. I never continued to Foul Lady Fortune and Foul Heart Husband, but I need to. Divine Rivals. Still haven't read it, what can I say? We have some duologies, One Dark Window, Two Twisted Crowns. I have a spot here for Rachel Gillig's newest book, The Night and the Moth. We have some Ava Reid. We have Dance of Thieves and Vow of Thieves. Then we have some first books in series over here. Jade City, Robin Hobb, 5th season. Lee Bardugo, all right here. So we have Ninth House, Six of Crows, Shadow and Bone. Out of all of these, my favorite book is probably Crooked Kingdom. But I really liked Ninth House, too. I think I'm going to read Hellbent this fall. We have the Cruel Prince trilogy, which I really need to read, like, really, really bad. I'm so behind. Renegades, so we have some Marissa Meyer. And in my head, Marissa Meyer and Stephanie Garber just really go together. We have Stephanie Garber, Carval. These were, like, mid to me. Obsessed with The Ballad of Never After. This book is so good. I didn't like A Curse for True Love. I did not. That's a swing and a miss for me. Then we have some Victoria Aveyard, which I have not yet read either. So, working on it. Here on the bottom, we have random. These are all my random fantasy, some arcs I've been given. We have witches, we have first books, we have arcs, we have some of my old childhood books, childhood favorites. And then down here we have Cassandra Clare, like the Shadowhunters series. I read all of these as an adult, and I feel like they would have hit harder if I was a kid. I have Powerless down here because I really don't know if I'm ever going to read that book. So much has come out about it, and I see very polarizing reviews, so I don't know if it's worth it for me to pick that one up. I'm standing on my bed precariously. This is not efficient. In honor of going through my romance shelf, I'm wearing this really cute merch that says written by Emily Henry, because Emily Henry is one of my favorite authors. I love her. I'm a simple girl, what can I say? So up here we have Emily Henry's hardcovers, annotated obviously. I didn't annotate Great Big Beautiful Life. I listened to this book. It's probably my least favorite Emily Henry book. My favorite is probably, don't make me pick actually, probably Happy Place. I really like Happy Place, I really like Funny Story, and I really like Book Lovers. Those are my favorites. I also have this UK cover of Happy Place up here. With Emily Henry, we of course had to put some of my other favorite authors. I have only read Out on a Limb, but I loved it so much I know I need to get into like the next of kin situation, which I will. Also, on this top shelf we have my current read, which is The Kiss Quotient and The Heart Principle. I thrifted these, but I need to get the Bride Test still. And then I have my 3 Abby Jimenez books, and my favorite Abby Jimenez book, if you're wondering, is yours truly. I have this huge stack because I really have no room. I thought this would easily fit on this, but we're pushing it. The stacks are of authors I have multiple books of. So we have Ellie Hazelwood books, Talia Hibbert books, Tessa Bailey books on this little stack. And then over here we have Sarah Adams books, and then Casey McQuiston, and then this random book that doesn't have a pair. But all the other authors do. That was an arc I got sent recently. Coming down just a little bit more, we have another massive stack. So we have Lauren Asher's The Fine Print. I read the first 2 books. Wasn't crazy about them. So I never read the final offer. Maybe I will at some point, but now it's not my time. We have Lila Sage. These are signed. We have Love Requires Chocolate and Love Craves Cardamom. These are like interconnected standalones. We have Amy Lee, Set on You and X and O's. I read both of those. They were both like average to me. I have Delilah Green Doesn't Care. I really loved this book. I definitely want to get into Ashford Parks is Perfect or something. I don't know. I want to get into the rest of those books for sure. And then we have some one-off books that I have that I might get more by these authors. So like, this is my only Mariana Zapata book. It's culty. It's just so long for a romance. What's a girl to do? I need to read it. Call Me By Your Name. I really want to read You Deserve Each Other. Way down here. Okay, on this shelf we have some like magical realism primarily. So we have all my holiday books, and then we have like the 7-Year Slip, The Dead Romantics, time travel type books, romantic, magical, and then some just normal romance, but they're here. And then here we have the Addicted series, which I've read all these. I just haven't got around to the future book, Summer in the City, Dial A for Auntie, yeah, some other runoff. And then here at the very, very bottom, we have Christina Lauren, Binding and Keeping 13, we have Jessa Hastings, some of my less favorite books and authors down at the bottom. Alright, and there you have it. There's my bookshelf tour. It always takes so much longer than you anticipate doing a full bookshelf reorganization, but it's so rewarding every single time. I'm actually obsessed with how this room is looking. I did buy more books, so we're gonna have to find a spot for those. I think we'll be able to make room, but I'm really pushing it with my current shelf space because I would love to have shelves where I could like display books or have little trinkets or make it like more cute, and right now they're just like jam-packed, which I love. It's an amazing problem to have, but like it would be really nice to have another bookshelf to like spread out a little bit. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe and comment down below if you liked this setup, and if you didn't like this setup, just like be kind. I spent hours on this. Follow along for more and happy reading. Bye.